Welcome to video number 3 of the 6 top used tools here in the låve. This video is all about our buddy, the circle saw, or skill saw, some people call it, but på norsk det heter sirkesag. This circle saw was one we purchased for a dugnad a couple of years ago to help replace planks on decks. It's used all over the place for dugnad. Yeah, it's very portable, super useful, great job site tool. Has a couple of really important safety tips. It has a very similar function to the kappsag, our miter saw, in that it is mostly used for sizing boards. It can cut miters on angles for various boards. But the thing is, anytime you take a tool off of a stand and put it in a villager's hands or in a human's hands, it becomes more dangerous, right? The number of things that can go wrong when you're responsible for the stability of the tool increases really rapidly. So there's some really important safety tips with this one. First of all, villagers 16 and older can use this saw, but they need direct supervision from a counselor, right? And that makes your project go slower, right? Because anything you have to supervise a villager directly for, you could do yourself faster, right? But that's not the point of working with villagers and with kids in the låve. The point is for them to get the experience, and you're there to make sure things are safe. So, how do you keep things safe with the sirkesag? There are a couple things. First, we'll note that the sirkesag also has a guard. It's this piece right here. There are a lot of folks that are tempted to use the sirkesag by holding the guard out of place with their offhand thumb. That's a big no-no. Alright, that puts your hand right in the trajectory path, the danger zone, one might say. So let the board do the work of pushing the guard out of the way itself. It moves, so when the board contacts this, it moves itself, right? So just let that happen naturally. Notice this would be a very dangerous thing to do. I currently don't have a battery in, so we're still maintaining our safety guidelines even for video purposes. But the circle saw runs on these 20-volt batteries, which are lithium-ion batteries. They charge in the vedketøybud whenever you're not using them. You can check the charge of a battery by pressing this little button here. This one is fully charged, you'll see. These lithium-ion batteries need to make sure that they don't stay in the låve over the winter. They freeze, and they spill battery acid all over the floor, and it eats through the concrete. So make sure these make it back into Utgard for when the summer is done. Cool. With the circle saw, it spins fast and with high torque, navneskilt in pockets, hair tied back. Oftentimes on the job site you'll be wearing gloves with this tool. That's okay. That's okay if you want to do that. Couple other safety tips with the sirkesag. There's a safety trigger here, so you need to be pushing down on this top thing and pulling the trigger at the same time for operating the saw. Changing the angle of the cut is used up here. And then changing the depth of the cut, you can unlock it by using this lever and then adjust the depth of the cut. Adjusting the depth of the cut is really important. You want to make sure you always have the correct depth set so that the saw blade is protruding all the way through your workpiece. But generally, you don't need too much on the other side. Great. These saw blades last for quite a long time. They're typically carbide tipped. If you're noticing the saw is working too hard or is not cutting as cleanly as you would like to, you probably need to change the saw blade. If you're not comfortable with doing that, ask the person who's in charge of the låve that year and they can change that saw blade. There are always extra saw blades in the vedketøybud. So yeah, villagers 16 and older, direct supervision, navneskilt, hair tied back, sikkerhetsbriller, safety, eye protection. And then make sure that it's also loud. You're typically using it outside, so that's not as big a concern. But anybody that's using the saw for sure should be wearing ear protection. Anybody that's supervising the saw directly should probably be wearing ear protection as well. Usually you're on a job site, most people have ear protection either in their pocket or around their neck somehow. So encourage people who are near the saw to be wearing their ear protection while it's being operated. Sirkesag. Tack!